Hi guys. It's really nice to see a lot of you joining in. Yeah, I guess we can start now. Muted for 5 minutes and we'll just get into it. So hi, my name is Christine Wasika and I'm the DSC lead here at ALU. So today we have an info session where we'll basically be informing you more about what the club is about. And yeah, I'm just really excited to have everyone here. We have some guests amidst us and they'll be introducing themselves to us shortly. So yeah. Yeah, okay. So today's agenda is as listed here. So we have the kickoff, then just a bit about DAC, then the guest speakers will come in. That's Awo and Alela, a Q&A, and finally we close. Yes. So today's info session it's not going to be technical. We're basically just going to be going over what the club is about and some of the things that we have prepared for you as the term goes on and as the year goes on as well. So yeah. So a bit about what the Developer Students Club is that it was started by Google developers, and the very first group or community was in India. I think that was in around 2017. And this club was essentially made for students in universities to to have a community where they could grow their software development skills and learn while still in school. So it is available for students who are taking the undergraduate programs as well as the graduate programs as well. Yeah. So in as much as the club was started by Google developers, it is our community. So Google doesn't have any ownership over DSC, but it's for us to make the club what we'd like it to be, a community where we get to learn and explore technology amongst ourselves and get some experts within the field as well to just share some knowledge and impart some new skills in us. So yeah. So here is what we have in store for you this year. So we will be having study jams. Study jams they're basically long coding sessions. They could range from about 2 to 4 hours, basically an opportunity for you to really dive into code and work on a project, or it could be a class code lab, or basically a live coding session where the facilitator and the learners get to code together. Then there's also the hands-on workshops. So these ones are slightly shorter and not as frequent. This is basically to introduce a new skill or piece of technology to you. This could be, for instance, you want to learn how to deploy a website, right? And yeah, this is why we'll be having those conversations and discussions around. So there will be shorter and mostly just to let you or inform you on a particular piece of technology. Yeah. So then there's the hackathon. So this year, we are, like ALU Rwanda, we are partnering with ALC in Mauritius to come up with a joint hackathon. So this would be a virtual hackathon, currently in the works of it, but essentially we do want to see if we can have one before the year comes to close. If not, it will still be carried over for the next term. Yeah. And aside from that, we will be having speaker sessions. So this is where experts in the field, as I mentioned earlier, will be coming to share their knowledge, their insights, and basically just giving us advice on what it means to be in the tech space, how to go about it, and yeah, some of the tips and tricks that you can use to better yourself professionally. And yeah. So finally is the demo day. So the demo day comes as a result of an event called the Solutions, not particularly an event, but a series of work that leads up to this. And basically it's where DSCs, developer student clubs, like all across the globe, wherever, on whatever campuses they are, come up with different groups and decide to work on a local problem. So this is to generate solutions or technological tools that can be used to curb some of the challenges they are facing within their community. So demo day is basically the day where you get to showcase some of the work that you've done. Yeah, so next we have the roadmap, basically just a draft or an overview of what I've just said, categorized across the year. So we started out here, and that's where leads like me all across the globe got the chance to be onboarded on what the club is about. And we did have our regional summit. So basically, whereas in our case, our region is Sub-Saharan Africa, we got the chance to get to know more about what is in store for the year. And yeah, so right now we are in the process of organizing workshops and different project building activities for you. And we just like to kick that off with an info session where we enlighten you on what the club is about. Yeah, so this is where we'll be having the technical workshops, code labs, study jams coming in, and also speakers to facilitate some of the sessions, as well as just give a talk to us, and we get to ask them questions and interact. Yeah, so between January and March would be sort of the same thing. We will dive more into that later on. And finally, between April and June is when we'll have the showcase season. So this is basically in conjunction with the demo day and the solutions challenge that we just talked about. Yeah, so yeah, this is some of the technologies we will have a chance to look into. Just at a glance, there is Android, specifically Kotlin, and Firebase, Heroku. And if you have any other ideas or suggestions for what you can touch on within the course of the club, we are open to that. Yeah, so without further ado, I'd like to welcome our guests and yeah, they'll introduce themselves and give us just a bit more insight into what DC is all about. Yes, so we'll start with our.
Okay, hi Christine. Thank you
Thank you
very
very
much for
much
the
for the
invitation. I
invitation.
hope
I
you
hope
can
you can
hear
hear
me.
me.
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
okay.
Do I
Do I
need to
need to
share
share
my
my
screen or
screen or
something?
something?
You'd like to? Sure thing. Let me just.
Okay,
Okay,
waiting
waiting
on
on
mute.
mute.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
you stopped
stop
sharing.
sharing.
Okay.
Okay.
Please
Please
confirm you
confirm
can
you
see
can
my
see my
screen.
screen.
I guess
Yes,
you
Yes,
we
you
can see
can.
can.
it.
Yeah, you
Yeah, you
can.
can.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry,
sorry,
someone
someone
said
said
it's
it's
echoing.
echoing.
Is it
Is it
still
still
echoing?
echoing?
Okay,
Okay,
so
so
let me
let me
just,
just,
I'm
I'm
using a
using a
headphone, so
headphone,
let
so
me
let me
just
just
turn
turn
that
that off.
off. Okay,
Okay,
how
how
about
about
now?
now?
I hope it's not more echoing.
Okay, just go again so that we can hear.
Just a
Just a
moment.
moment.
I'm
I'm
trying to
trying to
let me
let me
turn
talk.
off this. Okay, how about now?
Yeah, much
Are
better,
you
much
able
better.
to- Yeah, okay, sorry. I was using a headphone and I think that was the cause of the issue.
Mm.
So thank you very much. Like Christine mentioned, I happen to be one of the two guests for this session. And literally I'm going to always be guest at your event, multiple events over time. But I get to introduce myself once, right? My name is Awal MS, and I happen to be the program manager for developer student clubs across sub-Saharan Africa here at Google. Basically, what I do is help student developers become better at what they're interested in. Basically, providing resources, guidance, mentorship, and feedback on whatever field of software engineering or IT they seems to be interested in. So to do that, I often reach out to different product teams at Google here to confirm if they have resources that are going to be useful to members of the community. So if you have probably some requests for resources that you think will be useful for your community, feel free to reach out to Christine, and Christine will get to me so that I can reach out to any product team, whether it's Google, whether it's Android, Google Cloud, Flutter, Firebase, and many other things. So, why DSC, right? I just wanted to probably share some of the things I have learned and why the DSC program entirely was even started. So first thing first, I have a question and I hope you get to answer to get as much response as possible so that we can be done with this as fast as possible. Okay, so question one is this. How many of you want to work in tech after graduation? I'm going back to the chat section to see. Um, so how many of you want to work in tech after graduation? Eunice, you're out. Oh, I love that. We do have many other. Okay. Yeah, so I think this works, right? Yeah, so but then the next question is, do you think you have all the tools you need? So you want to work in tech. Do you think you have everything, all the skills, all the tools you need to become good at this? Um, well, okay, I can see way too many news. Yeah. So basically, to answer this, right, to solve this is why the DSC program was brought. So in a nutshell, in 2016, 2017, Google developers noticed that literally every company, right, every of the big companies, or like literally every company has usually have an internship opportunity available to students, an opportunity for students to come and learn, right? And then this often is open to people who are studying in school, basically some most times studying computer science or IT related course, but with practical experience. And then at some instance, your computer science degree can be substituted for your practical experience. But then even when these openings are available and people tend to say, hey, we're looking for a job or we're looking for opportunity to get better at what we're doing, they don't still get to pass the interview stages and meet the criteria of um, to be hired, basically. So the Google developers team thought of, okay, how about we bring a program that will try to bridge the gap between theoretical computer science concepts, right, and practice, basically what is needed in the industry. So you're in school, you learned many different things. This is what you need. This is what you need. This is what you need. But once you go to the industry, or you go for interviews, you realize, wow, what we were taught was actually not what is here. Or when you get to probably scale through and get to the industry, you realize that, oh, what you were taught in school wasn't like really what up to what the industry expects. So that was the reason why the DSC program was started in 2017 in India, like Christian said earlier. And then we saw the impact it made, right, in India, and then originally decided, oh, this is something that should come to SSA. In 2018, we brought the DSC program to SSA, and we started with 52 DSCs, right, 52 campuses. And out of those campuses, one happened to be your DSC. I think your first DSC lead was actually Lauren. I'm not very sure. I think Lauren was your first DSC lead. Um, so that was how the DSC program started and came to SS in 2018. We participated. We had really great success stories. People got jobs. Some people. We have two DSC leads who now work at Google full time. We have a DSC lead who joined Microsoft. We actually have DSC leads who work at Shopify and other different companies. And basically, they were all from SSA. The stories I'm telling you here are from SSA. And actually, one of those students, one of those who work at Google currently, actually comes from ALU. I am not sure. I'm not sure if it is Mauritius or it's Rwanda. I think. it's Mauritius, but he was from the ALU brand, right? Who currently works as a cloud solutions architect at Google, right? Um, but then that's to tell you how things happen. So got the DSC program provides this opportunity to bridge this gap, what you learn in school and what you get to do in the industry. Um, and basically, our target is student developers, right? The goal is simple: to create impact, basically impacting you as a student, empowering you with the needed resources you need, um, to impact your communities through technology, building solutions to problems that are prevalent to your location. We didn't try to say, hey, we're providing you with resources to build solutions to other countries. If you build something that will work for your community and can be scaled down to other countries, it's perfect, right? But then the most important thing is to get you all the needs, all the tools, all the resources you ever need to be able to impact on your community, because your community comes first. And like Christine said, so we happen to have over 1,200 DSCs, right, from across the world. So when you're here, it's actually not about only your DSC, and it's not just about you and the ALU campus and the Mauritius campus. It's about a whole lot of institutions, 1,250 of them, 200 of which comes from SSA, trying to build solutions to local problem, right? Um, And as I was saying, we've seen really great success stories, and I'm going to be sharing a few stories that had impact on different people in the world. And these basic stories are around this solutions challenge that Christine mentioned. So every year we organize a competition of a sort where we bring DSC campus campuses to work on solutions to local problem. What we're interested in is you solving a problem, a real life problem to your community or a real organization in your community, right? Um, and the solutions could take any shape, whether you're solving um, issues with agriculture, health related issue, education technology, and stuff like this. And as we do this, we just expect we only have one requirement. We don't tell you, hey, you have to build everything on in Angular, deployed on Google Cloud Platform and stuff like this. You can use whatever you want to use, right? But we expect you to incorporate one Google technology, basically either a product, whether you're building the app for the Android platform, or you're using Firebase, for example, or you build the app using React and deploy it on Google Cloud Platform. So whatever you want to do, the most important thing is build a solution to a local problem, right? Something that affects your community. Possibly you notice something is happening in your community and want to build a solution to that. And the good thing is you can start now. So previously, the solution challenge started in 2018, and we're happy to see that the first solutions challenge the first winners came from SSA, right? And it's one of those success stories. Like I am very passionate about telling the story of Samuel, from that's basically the DSC lead from Muni University. Muni University is in Arua, Uganda. It's in northern Uganda, and what was built was something very simple, right? Yet very impactful. Um, what the team from Muni University built was basically an immunization calculator, right? What the app does, you can clearly see at the right by the right of my screen where my mouse is at the moment. This doesn't look like the best of UIs. Some of you possibly like, I could build something very better than this. Well, the most important thing, it actually solves the problem, right? When mothers give birth to kids, the infants are expected to be immunized, right? And after some days interval, the kids are supposed to be brought back to the hospital to be to like take the next dose. But parents happen to forget about when is the next due date, as well as health workers tend to also forget, oh, what was the immunization we gave this kid, and what is the next dose that we're supposed to give the person. So this is what the app tries to solve. Or basically that's what it solves. Two different apps, one for health workers, the other one for mothers. For health workers, you only need to probably insert the student's ID, the children ID. Sorry, don't mind me with student. Um, the child ID, which the mother is given. If in the case of in the case where the mother has forgotten the ID, they basically use the date of birth of the kid and probably determine when is the next dose. You can see the child is supposed to be given BCG, OPV, OPV also, right? And then these are the intervals. Some are at birth, some of them at 1 year, others are after 14 days and stuff like this. So that's basically the first winning application did. And it was basically built with with native script, and was built for the Android platform. It uses cloud. It uses Firebase database to solve uh, saving up persistence of the data, as well as uses cloud messaging FCM to be able to send notification to mothers when it is a week to the due date of their child immunization, when it is 3 days and the morning of the when the immunization is due. So this is one of those people who created impact, right? Moving to the next one, two other things that we see that worked is these two applications you're seeing on the screen. One is the emergency response assistant. The other one is a plagiarism checker. So emergency response assistant was built out of necessity, and the necessity was because these students from University of Education in Kumasi were faced with a case whereby one of their friends got bitten by a snake, and then it was really tedious work to be able to get authorities to bring down an ambulance, because they were trying to reach out to the authorities, and it was really it was literally impossible, because they don't know what's the easiest way to get to this. And then they built this app to help them as well as other students around their campus to able to solve to able to report this sort of things. Plagiarism Checker was built by the team from Midland State University in Zimbabwe, where they noticed the school usually pays a huge amount of money, usually in foreign currency, for this plagiarism checker, where when students submit their capstone project, it gets run through and check if if the seminar is actually a plagiarism work. Basically, someone went and packed and copied resources that were built by um, materials that was written by someone and then submitted to the school. So they noticed this issue and then thought, since Zimbabwe's currency is facing an issue, right? It's really suffering. So and the school could not afford to be able to pay in foreign currency. So they built Project Capstone to do the same thing as what the school used to use, right? Um, Basically scrapping the internet, using Python, and then deploying everything, running everything using ML Kit. So these were the two solutions that were built, right? And if you want to probably watch the demo and things that happen, the link down here is a link to the video on YouTube from the top 10 winners of the solutions challenge for 2020. So I told you this was a solution. This was the winner for 2019, and these are the winners for 2020. And I hopefully wish to see your school become one of the winners for 2021. But to do that, you have to start working now, right? Um, to learn more about the DSC and what we stand for, right? This is the link d.co/dev/DSC. Um, and yeah, thank you very much. If you have any question, I'm on the chat section. I know Christine is going to be like, hey, it's time, it's time. I know, so I'm timing myself, so that's why I'm a bit fast. Thank you very much for joining, and I'll be here to answer any question in the chat section. Over to you, Christine.
Okay, thank you for that. Well, that was very, very nice. And yeah, thank you for just unpacking that in such a way that we're able to see some of the really great things that DC has for us. So yeah, let me just share the screen again and we can have the next surprise. Mm. Yes, so our next speaker is Eunice Alela, and I'll just give her the floor. So, Alela, take it away.
Okay, thank you so much, Christine. Just give me a thumbs up if you're able to hear what I'm saying. Um,
Yeah, thumbs up. Okay, stop sharing, but I can hear you.
no, continue sharing actually, because I think I added my notes on that. So as Awal was speaking, he talked about the solutions challenge. A brief intro about who I am before I get into that. My name is Alela Eunice, but others know me as Alela Denise. Preferred name is Alela Denise. I am a community manager for a program we refer to as the Google Developer Experts Program for Sub-Saharan Africa. So basically, a group of experts in one or more uh, Google stacks, be it Angular, be it cloud, be it web, just like in a variety. Uh, so today, Christine asked me to talk about my journey into tech and what it is that I am passionate about. In a way, I'm trying to record her words. But when Awal was speaking, he talked about the solutions challenge. And I thought to myself, if somebody showed me all these amazing projects that other people have developed, then I'll start doubting myself. I'll be like, I'm not a good fit for this. So I just want to tell you this. The same way those students made those applications, the same way those students came up with these amazing ideas, all of you can do this. All of you can come up with these great ideas. All of you can develop solutions that are relevant to the ecosystem and are sustainable enough. Okay, over with that. You're going to be having study jams and all that. So my journey into tech is one of me trying to follow what I thought I was passionate about, and not trying to fix my mind on the career opportunities that people had told me were good enough for me. So often at times you end up being told that you go pursue law because everybody's doing law, or you go do journalism because everybody's doing journalism. So back in high school, I decided to defy the odds and pursue computer studies. So out of a class of 278 students, five of us made a decision that we're going to do computer studies. Another reason is because I was kicked out of agriculture class. So let me not lie that it was purely passion, but I was kicked out of the agriculture class because I could not do the practical bits of it. So I finished high school, did very well in computer studies and physics, and was really, really excited about what next. But then, the way when you think of what next, you tell your friends, "Me, I'm going to do journalism," because you see the likes of there's a Kenyan called Larry Madowo. You see Victoria Rubadiri. Those are Kenyan journalists who are making it, and you're like, I really, really want to be on the screen. I want everybody to know me and stuff. Um, but then I decided to pursue computer science because I was like, even if I want to be like them, maybe there's a different way of doing this. Maybe there's a different way of still creating an impact, of still reaching out to people and stuff like that. So I joined campus to do computer science, and funnily enough, we were not so many ladies. Not funnily, actually, I think that's expected. Like in most classes, it's you'll find half the class, no, three-quarters of the class is male and a quarter of the class is female. In some instances, even just an eighth is female. So I go to my first hackathon, and I'm the only lady amongst 30 men, and I'm told, oh, sorry about that. I'm picking the call from my phone, and my brother is bugging me. So I'm told that, you know what, you're going to write the documentation, and as you're going to do the coding. So I decided this is not going to happen. I'm in a group. Initially, I was doing photography for meetups, but now I'm wondering, like, how am I going to be writing documentation? I've moved from photography as the first thing. I used to attend meetups to take photos. Now here I am, I can write code. I have got a scholarship, learned code. I got a scholarship from a school called the Mobilis to just learn how to develop websites. So I was like, website, not my thing. I'm more of a hardware person. I think I got suspended once in high school for fixing all the switches in the school because they had disconnected it. But I was like, I'm going to reconnect this thing. And I was like, you're going to go home for doing this. So that's another story. But anyway, so in all these things, communities, I tell people that I am a product of tech communities. Reason being, when I was joining these tech communities, I ended up creating networks. Christine, you can go to the next slide. I ended up connecting networks that I did not imagine I could create. I could even, like, people you've only heard about, but never thought you'd actually meet them at one particular point. This is the thing about communities. When you join communities, you end up meeting new people who you had no idea you could have interactions with, who all have amazing ideas, who all have these things that they want to develop, but some may not have an idea about how to do it. So communities provide for you a platform that you're going to be networking in. The next thing that you're going to be able to do is, Christine talked about learning the study jumps, right? The study jumps basically give you an opportunity for you to be able to learn about new technologies. Let's say there's something new in Android and you want to learn about Android. How exactly are you going to know about it? Other than, yes, there's a documentation, but you want to do it as a group. You want to be able to cover content together. So communities are going to provide for you a platform for you to be able to learn new technologies. Sharing your ideas and getting feedback. Let me tell you something. The first thing I ever developed was something to monitor sewer levels and report it to the local sewer company. So it is supposed to help avoid spillages. But one thing I did not know was how exactly were these things going to be placed on top of the sewer tanks. So I did not think through to the end. I only developed the product, but had no idea about the implementation part of it. So here I am amidst other people who are developing various things. But then I asked them, if I was to give you this product, how exactly would you want to use it? Or what exactly do you think you'll do with it? So this is me getting feedback from community members. This is why it is very important for you to be a part of something bigger than it is. When you have an idea, you want a place where you can actually get feedback. So communities provided me a chance to get feedback on whatever it is that I was developing. And since then, I will not lie to you, before I even think of making something go out to the public, I tend to reach out to other people. Are they those that I met in campus, those that I met outside campus? But I tend to reach back and tell them, I have this thing that I have made. Would you be open to testing it out for me and giving me feedback? So that's another thing that you should learn. You are going to be able to get feedback. Even when you're going to be doing the solutions challenge, look at it like when you have the idea, your community members are actually going to be your go-to people for feedback. So you're not going to like assume, you're not going to pilot your product, pilot your system with this knowledge that, if it works, it works. If you understood Swahili, I would have said there's a way we say kambaya and baya. If it's bad, it's bad. So, like, you don't want to go with that notion that if it's bad, it's bad. If it's good, it's good. You want to go with a notion that I have received feedback. I have made changes based on whatever it is that people have told me. Because when you're developing something, you're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it to create an impact, to make somebody else's life easier, to just be able to create a difference in the society at large. I tell people communities are my home away from home. So reason being, personally from the community I started with, it's called Kisumu, so GDG Kisumu. These are people who, like, when you're at your worst, they lift you up. And they're not family, and they're not your blood relatives. They're just random people who you met up with in a place, who you are coding with together, and now they just turned into family. One other thing that you need to remember is you're going to be able to get a platform where you learn and acquire skills that are relevant to your journey as a developer. I know we all love to get the technical skills, but there is also the soft skill base of it. So as much as you're going to be learning how to be better developers, as much as you are going to be learning how to write optimize your code and stuff like that. Remember one thing, when you go outside there as developers, there is something additional thing that is required of you as an individual. Yes, you may have the technical bit and wonder why somebody else who may have almost same technical bit, but more soft skill has been employed and not you, or is able to talk to clients better than you. So communities give you a platform to learn to interact with one another, to learn to be project managers. When you are going to be doing your solutions challenge or the hackathons or any other thing that you're going to be developing, one thing you're going to be able to learn at the end of it is you're going to be a project manager. Reason being, you're going to be running your own project, right? You are going to be the boss. You are going to be the one to document. You are going to be the one to reach out to your people if you're the one who's leading the project. And you don't have to be the main DSC lead. That's the thing. You just have to be an active member of the community or an active member of a project who really wants to ensure that something pulls through to the end. You are going to learn how to give feedback, how to communicate with other people. Another thing that you're going to learn is something like tracking your projects, right? So whenever you're developing a project, you want to be able to track what are some of the things that we were supposed to have covered by this particular time. What are some of the things that are pending? So that is a very, very key thing that you're going to be able to gather, because you're going to be working with people who maybe you never thought you'd work with. So they're not all people you know. Some are going to be new. Okay, I will go to my third last point. I want to skip the gain skills, tools, and developer resources because I don't think I've already been covered. Speaking engagements, Kristen is leading the community, right? But this does not mean that she has to know each and every stack that she's going to cover. Unless she's this ninja, like she's the sensei of all code, then she's going to be able to cover it all. But she's a student like you, so I'm going to assume she has maybe some particular stacks that she can cover and other things that she's going to reach out to the community members to ask if they can cover. So let's take an example of this. You are in the call right now. I'm going to ask random questions. Okay, just one random question. Tell me, what are some of the top, no, just one top tech stack that you feel comfortable sharing the knowledge with other people? Just post it on the chat section. So what is it that you feel comfortable sharing with other people? Awal, don't type. I have a feeling you want to type right now. Please don't type. Hold back. So Kristen, let's start with you. Type it on the chat section. Anybody else? I am just going to be, okay, nobody is typing, but what is that one thing that, even if it's HTML, Kotlin, yes. Okay, Kristen wants to teach about Kotlin. Anybody else? Okay. Git, yay, somebody wants to teach us Git. Okay, Olivia? Let's 2 more answers and then we're good to go. Python? Thank you, Neba. Okay, so great. I think we'll go with those 2 responses. In this, sorry, I am really sorry about this breakouts. I should not have received this with my phone. So in this group alone, we already have 3 people who have Android skills, Git skills, and Python skills, all willing to share. This is going to provide for them that speaking engagement. They're going to be maybe leading sessions. They're going to be coordinating things. So already the community is providing for you a platform for you to have your speaker engagements. And speaker engagements come a long way because they also help you to grow your confidence. And as always, when you share your knowledge, you end up actually knowing more than you knew when you stepped into the platform. That's, let me not lie to you. There's a time I was told to run a session on Kotlin, and I had only done Hello World for Kotlin. But here I am running a series called Kotlin Everywhere. I have no idea. I knew what Kotlin was, but I had never interacted with Kotlin. So yes, this is confession time. I'm being very honest. So here I am. I have resources. I have like resources to learn Kotlin and a group of people who are hungry for knowledge. They're looking at me. They're like, we have a question on Kotlin. I'm like, okay. Then somebody talks about Kotlin coroutines. I'm like, did I see this one? It was not among my slides. And I had to be very honest. I'm like, let me do some research on it, or let me just figure out what this is, and they'll reach out to you. So you don't have to be an expert in one particular stack to be able to lead a session. You just have to be willing to learn and share whatever you've learned with the others. While doing so, this helps you to grow professionally and also to grow as an individual, because when you're growing as in a professional point, people share your work. People share your whatever it is. When you're speaking, people tweet about it. Trust me, there is so much power in one single tweet. My first job, I got it because of a single tweet. Somebody tweeted about me teaching some children, and the next thing I know is I was being called for an interview, and I thought it was a prank. I think I had this conversation with Christy. I don't know if she believed me or not. Yeah. So you're growing as an individual, and you're growing in a professional part. Opportunities are going to be shared. You're going to have people sharing with you events that you can go to, jobs that you can have access to. There's some jobs that are open to students. So look at it like, I am part of something big, and they're going to be able to share opportunities that I can plug into. And these opportunities are not just jobs. They can even be scholarships for you to pursue your master's. They can be scholarships for you to even go to an event like the Grace Hopper celebration that was happening this year and last year and all the other years. So opportunities are going to come in various forms, but just be open and be active. Don't be somebody who joins the group and then goes quiet and expects to always get updates. Be that person who asks questions. Be that person who steps up and takes charge. When your DSC lead is not going to be there, be that person. You don't have to be the co-organizer. You don't have to be part of the core team. You just have to be part of a team or somebody who's able to take charge. I have talked a lot about why you need to be a part of the developer community. So now, Christine, you can go back to my photo because nobody's going to see my image. So I am just going to be mentioning, I don't know why this was included in the slides, but she said I should talk about my tech speciality. So personally, for me as an individual, I focus on Android and Internet of Things. The reason as to why I focused more on Internet of Things, I think I told you my first suspension was because of electrical wires and reconnecting the sockets and stuff like that. So I have always loved cables. I have always loved playing around with electricity and just trying to figure out. I'm that person who used to spoil the televisions and radios and try to fix it again. So I still ask myself why I didn't do electrical engineering, but I tell myself computer science was for me. So yeah. The reason why I also love Android is I believe we're in a fast-growing ecosystem, we're in a fast-growing economy, and solutions come in different ways. I love the web, yes, but at the same time, I look at it like whatever I can access on the web, at some point will all be made accessible in an Android application or in an iOS application. But for now, my focus is on Android, reason being, Java is so easy in a way, like I can start trying to understand Flutter. So I'm gonna stick to, I know Flutter is cross-platform and all, but I'm like, I started out with Pascal. And when you move from Pascal to C, the next step for you is moving to Java. So, and then from Java, you move to Kotlin in a way. So I am taking my steps slowly. I'm now migrating into Kotlin, but still love Java. So that's why I'm still in Android. Maybe Awal failed to tell you that he's actually into web, but I think it's very important for you to just try everything. Don't limit yourself to one thing because that's what's trending. Try everything until you figure out what's that one thing that you're passionate about, what's that one thing that keeps you awake, or that one thing that makes you want to do more and better as an individual. That's all from my side. I'm going to hand it back to Christine. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing, Alela. Like, that was very inspiring. Yeah, I'm also I love Android so much, like, and for reasons similar to yours. Like, I really feel that, like, where the world is moving in a few years is accessibility, and a mobile phone does amazing things for that. So, yeah, the next thing is just I just want to take this time to introduce the team, guys. So it's not just me. We have some amazing people on board who are just like great support systems and are just working really hard to make this club grow and yeah, get better. So I just want to give a minute for them to just like unmute, just say hi, and yeah, you guys know them from campus, from school. If not, here are the pictures. So yeah. Mahali. Okay, I think Mahali is shy. Olivier, do you want to say something?
Hi everyone. Happy to be here. I want to just say that I'm a former lead. Yeah, that's true. I'm the ex-lead for this club, and I'll be here for some support, anything, because I'm still at school and I love the community. So I'll be here to support Christine and Mahari and her team with anything and hosting some sessions probably. Thanks.
Okay. Mahali says Wi-Fi. So I don't know if she can go next or not, but yeah, she's our designer. Like the slides you're seeing right now, she's on to design them. She's doing a really great job at just getting things done in a really, really lovely way. So we are in search of adding more people to our team, and currently we are looking for someone to help with social media. So we need someone who can really push events that we'll be having online, be it on Instagram, on Twitter, and whichever platform that you'd like. So if this sounds like something that interests you, then yeah, just feel free to send me a Google chat message or reach out to me via my email. And yeah, we'd be really happy to have you here. So yeah, I think I saw Mahali. Do you wanna say hi? Okay. So yeah, this brings us to the Q&A session. Like if you have any questions, please, you can feel free to unmute, or if you just want to leave it in the chat, then go ahead and do so. We'll be happy to answer. Yeah.
So hi, Christine.
Hi. Hi,
Yeah,
Dash.
so my question is like very like maybe not stack related, but it's much more about is it going to be like is this DSC going to be inclusive of like product design type of thing, or like yeah, like is it going to be inclusive of that? Because like for a business student is like I will learn those stacks, but like my major focus would be something around UI UX, right? Because me, I'm interested in product management. So like is there like a track for that, or like that's going to be like a like an accountability type of thing?
Mm.
If that's my question.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dashna. That's a really good question. And to answer it, yes, there will be the design side of it. So we have uh, Figma as one of the technologies which you want to really like dive into. So that's mostly going to be on making wireframes for websites, for applications, and yeah, just making designs like from slides to product. Yeah, so the answer is yes, there is the UI UX side of it. Yeah.
So like there's a track for it this year.
yeah, it's something we're going to be working on. It's again, it's not fully fleshed out, it's stemmed out, but yeah, we did take that into consideration because we recognize that like in order to have development, there's an like development of websites or apps, it's important to have the skill to design it. And so that's one of like our main, like it's among the focal points that we really have for this chapter. Yeah.
Merci beaucoup.
Yeah. Anyone else with a question? Go ahead. Yeah, like as Awal has said, designers do play a role in every product built. So yeah, I wouldn't lie, I really suck at design. And when you have someone, when you have a skill or actually have someone who can make design or bring ideas that you have to life through visually appealing things, and that's like, I find that very important because yeah, it's users are gonna use it and interact with it. So yeah. Yeah, I suck. I honestly do. There's this one time I was building an app and I took sketches to like a friend who was a designer, and he looked at it and he was like, he could see where I was going, but not quite. Then he made mock-ups that up until now, I'm just in shock. I'm just like, wow, I would have never have imagined that this is how it would look like. And it's made it so much easier to build because now I had a point of reference that I can actually see this and recreate it through code. So yeah. Maybe they just didn't make it for the code. Yeah, but if you know, again, if you know anyone else who's interested in acquiring these skills, again, it's not just for computer science students, and you feel this would benefit them, then just feel free to share to them because yeah, I think it's a very valuable skill as well. Don't be scared. Once. Okay, anyone else with a question? Okay, cool. So I take it that's no question, right? So guys, we have a new platform where we want to have communications done, and this is on Discord. It's a really great space, to be honest. It's the UI is really nice and appealing, and I really advise you to get the application on your laptop. You can access it from your phone, from App Store or Play Store, whichever you'd like, and just set it up. Yeah, like the link is down below. I could paste it in the chat, and yeah, we can probably you can only sign up from it. Yeah. Yeah. So also again, our social media handles are there. So if you'd like to learn more about who we are, well, I mean, you now know who we are, but like, yeah, just for any new postings that we'll have and sharing, the Instagram and the Twitter page are where you'll catch us mostly. Yeah. Yeah, I think I should probably leave this in the chat as well. I'll do that. So it's just this DACALU underscore. Yes. Be sure to follow for more. Yeah, so exciting news. We have an upcoming event. So it's October right now. And what this means is Hacktoberfest. So basically just a small brief about what that is basically it's contributing to projects that other developers, that other people have worked on across the world, and getting to give you suggestions and share maybe answers to questions that they have. And this is in the form of contributing to open source. So open source is easily accessible software that you can manipulate, play around with, and yes. So we will be speaking about like how to contribute to open source through software like Git and GitHub to be a very detailed event, or rather just workshop. And something even more exciting is that we will be joined by our brothers and sisters from ALC Mauritius. So this is going to be our first collaboration, and I'm so excited for it. And yeah, I just really hope to see a lot of you join it. I will give the details of registering for the event. I will share them after this call. But also feel free to check out the dac.community.dev/, you can see it on the screen. Yeah, African Leadership University, so that you can always join. Actually, yes, you should. It's important for you to register onto this chapter, like through the link above, so that you're recognized as a member of DC, and that way you can easily participate in other events that are taking place, not necessarily just within ALU, but other campuses that you also find interesting, especially given the fact that now it's worldwide timeout and everything is virtual. So I think it also just gives you more room to explore a lot of different things. So yes, I think that brings us to the end of our info session today, and I'm once again really thankful for everyone who was able to make it. If you know a friend who would be interested in joining the club, please don't hesitate to share what you've learned with them. And once again, you can find us on our social media handles. That's DCALU_. And yeah, it was honestly a pleasure, and I'm really looking forward to serving you guys as the DC lead for 2020-2021. That is all. Yeah, I think that brings us to the end. There is going to be a recording of this info session. It will be up on our YouTube channel, which I'm in the process of setting up. But yes, I'm really happy that you were able to make it for the info session. And once again, thank you so much to Awol and Alela for sparing their time to be a part of this. Really appreciate it so much. And I think, yeah, the community has a lot to take away from this. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Christine. Bye.
Bye. Oh, yes, follow us. I've seen someone's already followed. Good. I'll end it now, though.